Welcome to the Torque and Horsepower Podcast. I'm your co-host, Eric Herbert.
And I'm your co-host, Alex Stursa. Today we have Davis Miles in with us.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. For the listeners, this is the Hammer's little brother.
Medium stick.
Medium stick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we never introduced Drew.
Oh, yeah.
Drew the Hammer Miles on the soundboard over there.
He's big stick.
One of these days, you need to be on this side of the camera.
Yeah.
At some point, I'll go over there.
It is
Yeah.
not.
Or
it's
at least
not
I'll set up another camera that's facing me, and then
Right.
then it'll
There
be
you
all
go.
right.
That'd be cool.
like one over there going.
That
down
one
the
would
bar.
probably be better with the bar top. That way it doesn't, the viewers can't see everything on that side. Because once that thing starts moving, they're out of here.
Oh, boy.
You might attract a new listener.
That is true. We might get our first female listener.
We don't have too many of those ones.
No, we don't.
Although the female episodes have always been the highest ranking ones.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we need to get more of them on here.
Yeah, and Sarah couldn't
Interesting.
even get into it real hard.
No,
No.
no, she was.
Boy.
I don't know. She was nervous too.
Yeah,
Totally nervous.
but she's also real vague.
Yeah, she couldn't go into a lot of detail.
Right.
They told her, like, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that, you
Right.
can't talk about that. I'm in healthcare. What do you do? Healthcare?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, I'm going to call you Miles because out of habit,
Yeah,
I
that's
called
all
you
right.
Miles Davis
Yep.
because I think it's funny.
Thank you.
Anyway, so your current occupation is...
I'm the foreman at an aggregate plant just off of Pyramid Highway, the old Mark Marietta plant.
Okay, and what are they digging out there?
We're just making aggregate, so we'll blast usually once a month, once every other month, and get about 100,000 tons of material out of that blast. And then we crush big rock into small rock, essentially.
What kind of rocks out there?
It's basalt mainly. There's some granite. We have a little DG plant out there, so decomposed granite. But it's mainly for concrete aggs and asphalt.
So who are your biggest customers?
C-Mex. One of the pits out in Fernley just closed down, so we acquired C-Mex. And then American Ready Mix, because Tykert owns American Ready Mix as well.
So mostly ready mix.
I didn't realize Tiger owns American Ready Mix.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're expanding out here quite a bit.
Yeah.
They're looking at a pit down in Dayton, actually, to acquire.
Oh, okay.
And then, what is that? Tracy by Fernley. They own that one as well.
Oh, okay.
Are they looking at getting that one that's like up on the mountainside there?
Yeah, Mustang.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
not the granite pit, but there's one just past that Mustang, and we own that. We're doing some drilling and testing out there.
Oh, cool.
Oh, right on.
Hopefully, we'll move out.
You're talking Mustang Exit? Is that what
Yep.
you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
That's General Ron's property up there.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the one in Dayton, is that the one that's like they're basically taking a whole mountainside down? Or the top of a mountain?
I don't know exactly which one they're going to acquire, but they're just looking around right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because Cinderlight sold their pit to, what was that, 3D?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
But that was all that is wash sand, so like concrete sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do quite a bit of that, and then we also have a hot plant on site. So we
Drew, you throw me that rag.
God damn it, Eric.
so we supply all the rock to the asphalt plant as well.
Oh, okay. You guys have hot mix there?
Yep.
Oh, right on.
And there's a little ready mix plant on site as well.
Oh,
but
really?
They don't use that unless there's a job like right next door.
Right. Because who is it? No, I think that's C-Mex has like remember our old shop? There was a concrete little concrete plant across the way. I think that was C-Max's
Oh,
plant.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was the 3D plant, little concrete plant there.
It maybe was. I don't know.
They're in Fernley?
Yeah, right next to my old shop, the one that got tore down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's storage units now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That DG's from your plant.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
From
have some
Moana.
Great DG.
Yeah, it goes to
I mean, it's not Cinderlight DG, but we'll let it go.
It's top tier DG.
Top tier DG.
So before that, when you were working on your why don't you tell us about the big diesel motor you were building at our shop?
Yeah,
Six-cylinder Cummins.
compound turbo on it, pushing 65 pounds of boost now. I had you guys fire ring it and do most of the machine work on it. And then I just installed it and did some transmission work. It should be pushing right around 600, 650 to the wheels.
Horsepower, how much
Yes, sir.
torque?
Right around 1400 should be.
That's a lot of torque.
That's a lot.
Runs
That's
pretty
a
good.
big torque number.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's fishing trawler diesel torque number.
That's right.
It'll tow anything.
Yeah.
As long as my EGTs don't get too hot.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're just a number. Just keep fucking pushing.
I do.
Yeah. I rode in the truck. Yeah.
It's a good
You
time.
need to add some water methanol to it.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
I have the kit. I just need to install it.
Yeah, I ran a lot in mine.
A lot of methanol.
Depending on if I wanted power or if I just actually
Wanted some
cared about the
cooling.
truck.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Both.
Both.
A lot of times I would probably run like a 70-30 mix, 70% methanol.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted
Wow.
more power.
Jeez.
But I
Oh,
was
man.
making, that was 650 at the tire on that.
Oh,
And
wow.
they say those motors usually throw a rod around 700 at the crank. So I know I was exceeding that. So it was ready to let go at any time.
You were
Wow.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But your truck's still running. It's mowing down Subarus in Minden.
It's doing
Oh,
great.
yeah. I heard
Is it?
about that, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
It showed up at Reed's fucking place.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it went to one of the wrecking yards, and then Reed was like, "Oh, dude, I think we're gonna get it for like 1,000 or 1,100. Or no, sorry, 11,000." I was like, "Dude, there's that much in the transmission alone
Yeah,
on that
right.
thing." Yeah, and then Casey ended up picking it up.
He just resold it to somebody, right?
I don't know. I think he
Okay.
still has it.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he couldn't. Once he drove it a couple times and raced people, he's like, "I can't get rid of it."
Yeah, I'm sure not.
It's funny.
So let's start out with tell us your backstory. Where are you from? What'd you grow up doing?
So from Chilcoot, California, grew up with Drew's my brother, obviously.
Right.
And then Alex moved in when I was in middle school and grew up riding motorcycles for most of my life. I think I started riding motorcycles when I was 4 and never stopped since.
I've always had such a hard on for CR250s with Triple X Moto graphics
Oh,
on
yeah.
it. Ever since you
Yeah,
got that
yeah.
one, I was like, look at this fucking thing.
Yeah, that thing was awesome. It was a little too much for me when I got it because I was like 12. But
Yeah.
A little
You
bit.
were
Yeah.
like 12.
I was.
Yeah,
We had
I was
to we had to
super
hold you up in order to get on.
yeah,
get on
I
it.
couldn't even start it unless I
Yeah.
was leaning up on something. It was a good time.
That was a really good time.
Yeah, so much fun out there.
So then, what'd you do after? I mean, obviously, you're riding motorcycles and all that kind of stuff. What else were you into?
Well, I got my grandma's little Toyota Tacoma.
Oh, yeah.
Had a lot of fun in that in high school. Trying to Baja it when it had stock suspension, probably 6 inches of travel.
I don't even know if it had that. That's maybe in the rear,
Yeah,
but I would say 2.5 in the front.
that was a good
Probably.
time. Yeah. And then shortly after high school, I was hanging out with Justin, and we do little rally runs from Red Rock over to Pyramid Highway, see how fast we could get through it. He had a little sheet that he's reading out to me, and all the turns, how tight they were, and all that. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was the record time on that?
It was a while ago, but probably 14 minutes, I think.
That's pretty fucking
Yeah, it was
good.
pretty quick.
Yeah, that's real quick.
I don't even think I've done that in the
In
racer.
Grandma's
Yeah.
Subaru?
No, in a Toyota 2-wheel drive Toyota pickup,
Little four-banger.
22R with a 4-speed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
Wow.
ripping the gears.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put
That's
a locker in
impressive.
it. Yeah, it was a good time.
well, we
Lincoln
made
locker.
a locker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Oh, Lincoln Locker?
Yeah.
it worked great.
Little
But-
lower gear ratio.
Yeah, these guys' dad, Mr. Miles, back in the day, he used to fuck around just like that. Like anytime he'd pick us up or anything, or we'd be going down the street
Yeah.
and he'd be pulling fucking J turns, and he would just go off the ditch and hit stuff.
That was
and
awesome.
Yeah, that's where they got it from because
Yeah.
he was just as wild.
It's hereditary.
It's
Yeah.
definitely hereditary. Yeah,
I think the best one is when we were riding up at the pass, and my dad, you just see that little green Honda coming, beep, 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 just like get our attention. Goes up this hill, rips the e-brake, whips around the little hill, and right back down, and doesn't
doesn't stop, say hi,
miss a
nothing.
beat,
Stops on the
just
highway,
keeps
takes
on
back
going
off.
home. It was so funny. It was awesome.
Going to the mud bogs in Grandma's Jeep. That,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a-
Sending it there.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So much fun.
So after high school, what'd you end up doing?
So I was really into helicopters and airplanes. So I did some helicopter lessons for a while. In high school, I actually did some airplane lessons because I was really wanting to get my pilot's license. So in a little after high school, I was in Minden doing some helicopter lessons and went at that for a while till the school shut down and they moved locations.
Oh,
Now-
shut down, huh?
Yeah, they shut down twice actually. They shut
okay.
down the one in Minden and then they just had the one in South Lake. So that was quite the
That's
way
quite
down.
quite the huck to go up there.
Yeah, for sure. And then there, it was such a high altitude, you had to run the R44.
Right.
So instead of $400 an hour, it's $650 an
Right.
hour. You know, so it's quite taxing. Now the closest one is in Auburn, so eventually I'd like to
Get back into
get
that.
back into it and finally get my license.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well, definitely one of the most humbling things is trying to fly a helicopter.
I bet.
Yeah, because you're doing 4 things at once, and every action has an opposite reaction, so you have to counter for that. Especially in auto rotations, you're dropping at 1,200 feet per minute, and get your stomachs up in your chest.
Oh, I bet.
It's fun.
Yeah. See, Herbert, another person that likes helicopters.
They're great.
Yeah.
Best thing ever.
It's a fantasy, but like, fuck. I've seen the piston engines in like Cessna 150, 172, and that's where you start with your pilot's license, and it is fucking terrifying. Like how this bucket of bolts stays together.
It's great.
I don't know. My wife wants to do it. She's super excited. I want to get my private pilot's license. She's done one flight. Fell in love with it, but I was like, it's like scuba diving. If you don't do it once a month, you're dangerous.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You can be proficient, but you're not actually efficient at it, so you need to keep on practicing.
Yeah, you got to do it once a month.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine was going to do his helicopter thing, and he got his license, and then he went somewhere, Washington, Oregon, to fly the giant Russian shit boxes to dry the cherry trees.
Cool.
And that was like,
Wait, what? They dry trees with them?
Yeah. They use a helicopter to dry,
seems
to
efficient.
dry the
Oh,
orchard.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, no shit. It was like, it's a deal. And the people show up to fly these helicopters for, I mean, he was making like $14 an hour, and he lived in a shack. Have you heard of that?
I haven't, no.
He lived in a shack on the orchard, and when it rained, they're out there, go fire the thing up and dry the cherries off.
Wow.
And it didn't pay shit because they got flight hours.
Right.
That's the
Oh,
most
yeah,
that's
that's
the
the
most
hardest thing, yeah.
expensive thing is
Right.
flight hours.
Yep.
Right.
That's
Definitely.
pretty
And
awesome.
so yeah, these guys would those what's that pot? It's not an what is that pot? Put diesel in it and light it.
Oh, a smudge pot?
Yeah, so the whole orchard would have these smudge pots lit in it, and then they would fly a helicopter to circulate the air to dry off the trees.
Wow.
Because if you look at the air off a helicopter, it goes like this.
Yep.
Right.
Sure does.
And if that stuff gets water on it for a long enough time, it rots on the tree. The whole harvest is junk.
Huh.
So yeah, they're drying trees with helicopters. He did that for a while, and he's like, I can't afford to live in this cabin for $14 an hour to try to get hours.
Right.
He's in the Bay Area somewhere doing like a landscaping business and happy as a clam.
Yeah.
Right.
But never finished his. Did you watch the episode with General Bath?
General Ron.
Yeah, yeah.
General Ron, yeah.
Right.
Yep, I did.
Did you have any thoughts on that?
It sounded awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
You should join the reserves.
I thought about it, but I'm 30 now, so I'm old.
They don't care.
My
Yeah.
buddy Jesse just went in.
I think that's
You're-
when
Yeah.
Kyle joined, was around that age.
The only thing is you got to be away from your family for to go boot camp and shit, so that
Yeah.
sucks. That's really
Yeah,
hard,
that was-
especially with kids.
But it's 2
But
weeks.
you could be a pilot.
It's not 2 weeks for
I know.
boot camp.
That would be
It's a
pretty-
month?
It's 3 months.
No.
Yeah, you still have to go to regular boot camp.
What?
Yeah.
It's 3 months?
You
Yeah.
still have to go to basic, and then you do all your other shit.
Yeah.
Right.
But after that, it's still 1 weekend a month and 1 month a year, right?
That I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, but
Sounds right.
But how he got his gig flying, he was doing plumbing and HVAC at the airport.
Yep.
And they're like, "Oh, your years are up. Give me 2 more years, we'll send you to flight school." And he was like, "Boing." And then he flew an F4 for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's
That's how you
We're-
get into helicopter.
Yeah, right.
yeah. I probably if I
Then you
left
get-
for 3 months though, I wouldn't come back to a wife probably.
Then you
Mine
get
would be gone. Yeah.
you get paid to train,
Right.
and then you got something forever when you're done. I'm trying to talk Adric into it. Like Adric. You
Yeah.
really he's 18, he has no commitments. Just don't join the reserves. They'll pay for school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with that's what Aiden did.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the Air Force. He runs a fuel truck.
Right.
Like
He's going to be set for life, though.
that's a really basic, I would say, fairly safe job.
Right.
And he's running a fuel truck, and they're paying for college. I think he gets because of his grades. He gets a stipend for housing. So they pay part of his dorm. Or I think he just gets so much money per month, and he's
Right.
putting it towards food or the dorm. But he is set forever with a career option.
Right.
I don't know if
pretty
he's going to fly. I don't know if his interest is in flying. But if your interest was in flying, helicopter, certainly military.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Let
expensive.
Uncle Sam pay for those hours.
Right. Yeah,
Like
because
$700 an hour.
yeah, most of the time it takes about 100,000 to get your license, and that's commercial. So that's roughly 500 hours.
Yeah, and that's paying. Oh my goodness.
And
It's
not
cool.
including all the study time and all that, because there's quite a bit of studying you have to do for it.
How much do you have left to get yours for a private?
Well, I have over 40 hours in helicopters now, 'cause since I had a couple stints of taking like a year or two off, so I had to kind of start back to, get the muscle memory and all that. So if I actually went back, I just have to do my written, do some nighttime flying, and then I'd have my pilot's license, both fixed wing and rotary wing.
Oh, okay.
So do those hours expire or not?
No, they never expire, but you're going to be really rusty.
Real rusty. Yeah, real
So
rusty.
you're going to have to probably spend at least 10 hours getting used to the plane or helicopter,
Right.
whatever you're going to do.
So you did both then?
I did, yeah. At first I did rotary wing, and then I was like, well, the place is in Auburn, so why not get a fixed wing license?
Right.
Just fly to
To
Auburn.
fly there, yeah.
Yeah.
Do my lessons and fly home. So I went through that, and then my instructor had some health issues here in Reno, so I stopped doing the fixed wing because I just didn't want to switch flight schools right in the middle
Right.
of it. So, yeah, a lot of hiccups in the way, but one day I'll get it done.
Well, it's hard too when you don't go to like a school or something because there is hiccups like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That'd be like,
Yeah, there's
he's
only
sick.
one instructor, so I was like, what the hell am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no substitute.
Right.
Oh, Ron's going to take over this week.
Yeah.
There is no guy.
There's no guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I did my
That's
written, got 90% on that, so I was stoked about that.
Yeah.
And then I was going to do some nighttime flying, and that's really all I needed, just a nighttime cross country, and then go with do my practical exam, and then I would have my license back.
Private, rotary, and fixed.
Private fixed. So yeah,
Oh, private fixed.
yeah,
That's A. Then B is rotary.
yeah. It'd be nice, but I'd like to get my instrument, and then that'll. You can do that with both fixed wing and rotary wing because it's all the same. It's just the instruments on the aircraft. And then probably do my CFII, so I teach people the ground instruction, and then CFI, and then commercial.
But commercial is the one that takes the most hours to get.
Yeah, but
That
being
license.
a CFI, you're going to get a lot of flight time with your student. So
you want to train.
I don't, but that's like the best way to get your time. 'Cause
Train
you're
or
getting
dry off
paid,
cherries.
and you're getting your flight time in the
Right.
Training would be good.
Because how many hours do you need for a commercial?
I think 500 or 1,000. Actually, 1,000 if you want to fly with an airliner.
Right. That's what I was reading your sheet and where you said you wanted to fly helicopters for like fire.
Yeah.
That's if I ever sell DVM, I'm doing something with fucking helicopters.
That'd be
'cause-
so badass.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Especially if I didn't absolutely need money right
Yeah.
off the bat. I was
Right.
like, let's fly
Fucking-
fucking helicopters.
Hell yeah.
Dude.
Alex and Diesel Dave.
Yeah.
That dude has 2 helicopters in his hangar.
I know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Both my favorite ones, Black
Yeah.
Hawk and MD-500.
Yep.
Those are
Yeah,
badass.
they're both cool helicopters. And a ripsaw, which I don't think those things are as cool as they.
I don't think so.
They look cool.
They look like they're
The
going to break
commercial-
while you're
the
inside it
commercial-
and then
the-
you die.
Right.
The commercial's great, but everyone I know that's had one, they're always broken.
I would assume so. They look like they're made out of fucking trampoline pipe.
They got a lot of suspension.
They do have a lot of suspension. I'll give them that.
So to continue this, what else did you do after the flight school and all that? I mean, what was the next step in your career path, I guess?
So after that, I kind of needed a job, so something that paid decent. So I got a hold of Joe that was working at Tykert in Mars Valley. Got in there, and I don't know. I had really good luck with it. I knew just had a really good mechanical background, so I really excelled there. And then moved up. I was getting foreman within 5 years, and then I was a foreman there for a couple of years. Then moved over to Martin Marietta, the old Martin Marietta pit, Western Nevada Materials.
Which that's probably a lot better for you because it's way closer to your house than going to Truckee.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're doing 10 times the amount of tonnage a year that we're doing at MARTA. So
Oh, really?
yeah, and there's 30 people there, and compared to 15.
Right.
And the 3 different little pits that we had up at Truckee.
Right. Right.
Is it still union based up there in
No,
Reno or no?
It's non-union. Yeah, they tried to unionize a couple of times, but it hasn't gone through.
So were you vested from working up there then?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
had 7 years total up there. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was well vested.
And were you doing the aggregate side or the asphalt plant side with Joe?
Both.
Both?
So I started out being the water truck driver because that's a
Right.
lowest totem pole.
Well, if you're
position
looking
there.
for a new job, my pops will probably hire you for water trucks.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah, I was top notch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that for about half my first year, and then I just wanted to be efficient and help out. So I'd always stop by the hot plant because that seemed like the coolest place to stop by, and I didn't know that at all, so I wanted to learn it. So I'd always, when I got done watering, stop by, see if they needed some help, and learn how to run the plant. So after 6 months, I was running the plant.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they shipped me over to the Truckee pit. I was the lead there for about a year, and then moved back over to the hot plant because I couldn't keep anyone there.
Right. That pit's been wanting to, or they've been wanting to close it for years, haven't they?
Yeah, they're starting to run out of rock. So 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, that was their last year for rock there. So that's why main reason why I wanted to move over to the Western Nevada side and to get more experience to keep on moving up in the company.
Right. And it's a huge company, so there's probably a ton of
It is, yeah.
room to move up.
They're huge in California for sure, and they're trying to expand eastward. So
Right.
It'll be good.
Yeah. How was the hot mix plant?
It was good.
I don't know shit about it. It's like posi track on a Plymouth. It just does.
It
Yeah,
just does.
you put shit in and it comes out as asphalt.
that's
Yeah.
I got to take a tour of it.
Oh,
It
did
was
you?
Pretty freaking cool. Like, there's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very messy. A lot of freaking heat.
a lot of heat.
A lot
yeah.
of heat, I bet.
Yeah. So there's 2 different types of asphalt plants. There's a batch plant and a drum plant. So the one that we had up at Truckee was a batch plant. So then you have your bins, you have your dust, your 3/8, your 1/2 inch, 3/4. And we ran 2 different types of dust, a clean dust and a dirtier dust to get you some voids in the asphalt. So from there, you have VFDs on each of those, so you can control how much you're putting on it. It goes onto a collector belt, onto a scale belt to see how much tonnage you're putting into the drum. And that one would run roughly 300 tons an hour. And then from there, go into the drum, it'd heat up the aggregate, and then it'd go up to an elevator, and then to get screened out. And then go into a bin to hold the hot material. It was right around 350 degrees.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, pretty hot. You can heat it up a little bit more in case the batch plant, you can just shut it down. It's not like a drum plant where you're going to shut it down and you're going to have oil and mix it with the aggregate.
Right.
And it could get hardened inside the drum. So you could just stop it there. And then it's automated on the batching. So it'd open up the bins and then go into a pug mill where to introduce the oil, mix up the oil, and then it should either go into a truck or into the silos. And the silos would hold 300 tons of mix.
So I have a question about asphalt.
Yeah.
Because like Granite's pit over here, they like all the stuff that we're on, that's who they get their asphalt from. But when they like, sometimes they'll truck it all the way to fucking like Winnemucca.
Right.
So does it come out extra hot or is it just?
You can turn up the burner. Like at Truckee, we ran around 32% of what it can do.
Oh, okay.
So and we could get up to 500 degrees pretty easily.
Oh,
The
shit.
aggregate itself.
Yeah.
If you weren't paying attention, you'd get up there, and then once the oil was introduced and came out of the pug mill, then it would just have this big old steam.
Oh, I
cloud.
bet. Yeah.
So I had to be careful because the neighbors up in Truckee.
Yeah.
When does it actually light off? I mean, I imagine it combust.
It's pretty
at some
high.
point.
I think it's 600 degrees, so it's pretty close to it. But we keep the oil right around 200, 250 degrees.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of like especially with my dad doing the water truck stuff, they're on a lot of road jobs, but there's a lot to the asphalt, like making it so it meets compaction and like all kinds of stuff. Because I see them reject asphalt all the time, and
yeah, it gets really expensive because then they have to mill it out, and then you have to pay 2.5 times what would have been originally because you have to mill it out and then pour it again.
So there's a lot that it's not just mix and rock. There's a lot that goes into it.
The pug mill was actually on a scale, so I'd go into a little batcher, so that would hold all the material. You'd put in a certain amount of dust, certain amount of 3/8, a 1/2 inch if you're making 1/2 inch or 3/4.
Right.
One of those, and then from there it would weigh it. Then it'd dump into the batch, and then it'd introduce the oil.
Okay.
So it's a certain amount of oil per however much rock you have in it. If you're doing a 4-ton batch, which that's mainly what that plant would do, it could do up to 4.5, but mainly ran at 4-ton drops. So yeah, and then we would test every 100 tons just to make sure that it was good.
That was right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You check the gradation, and then the air voids in it, how much oil content we have in it, and then we'd also introduce RAP, which is pavement grindings.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It saves on how much oil you have to put into that.
Right, because the pavement grindings already have some in it.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, we'd usually run 15% RAP in the mix.
So
And that's
you're basically recycling at that point.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what the RAP is, recycled asphalt particulate.
and that's gone through a crusher to make it small again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get big old chunks, and we would usually crush it down with either a jaw or a HSI. It's just a spinning impactor shaft.
Right.
And then from there, go into a cone to crush it down to 1/2 inch. That's usually what our wrap was 1/2 inch minus.
Yeah, I know, because I ordered a bunch of asphalt grindings to the shop, and I was expecting like big chunks with it,
Yeah.
you know. But Cinderlight ran it through their crusher first, and it came out fucking perfect.
Yeah,
just
it's great
bladed
stuff.
up,
Yeah.
run trucks over it, and it's solid right
Yeah.
now. Like we don't
Yeah,
get
it
mud,
compacts.
we don't get anything. It's great.
It's super nice, yeah. Because it's already going to be low on 200s, which is that super fine stuff in the
Right.
mix, because you have to try to get that out of the dust when you're making it at
Oh,
the
okay.
aggregate plant.
Huh? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So then you moved over here, and what are you doing over here then?
So now I'm the foreman over here, so I just oversee the day-to-day operation, make sure everyone on the team has what they need and knows what they're going to be doing for the day.
Gotcha. What's one of the real like the struggles that you have over there?
Finding manpower, honestly, and then good, talented mechanics that actually want to work and
Right. I know that feeling.
want to thrive, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely the hardest deal. And then just finding people that on the operation side that want to run the plant and run it efficiently instead of just trickle feeding everything. And if you trickle feed the Sandvik cones that we have, it'll destroy the bushing. So
Oh, really?
You're going to spend $30,000 every 3 to 4 months on it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And we have 3 of those now. So,
Damn.
yeah.
Well, even like crushers and stuff, I work on the engines on them for our customers, but I don't work on the crushing stuff. I think the guy's he owns a company called like Rock Tech or something. He comes out and works on all the crushers, but it looks miserable.
It's not too bad. The Sandvik crushers are pretty simplistic. It's not like an HP.
Right.
There's 4 different bushings in it, spider cap bushing that you have to replace. If you're running it properly and you have a good choke on it, so that means the material's being choke fed into there's no voids in it.
Right.
It's not just sitting there clunking back and forth because
There's nothing in there.
gyroscopic.
Yeah.
You know? So, if it's not clunking back and forth, you can usually get about a year out of it, depending on how much material you're putting
Right.
through it.
That's what they have a couple cones, and the only thing I care about on the cone crushers is when they come out. Sometimes I want the cone because they make fire pits to chill
Yeah.
them. That's
They do
only
make
thing,
great
the
fire
only thing
pits.
I'm worried about with
That's right.
crushers, whether the engine's running or if the cone's coming out. That's about all I care about.
That's right. On the ones that you work on, they're diesel driven.
Yeah, diesel driven. There's a couple that they have at their bigger pits that are electric,
Right.
but mainly they're all mobile plants that they
Okay.
set up at different pits, and we work on the mobile side of it. So we have helped them with some stuff, but really anything that has to do with the actual crushing of itself, they have another sub that comes out and does
Gotcha.
it.
Yeah.
They got to like float the fucking cones and stuff. So I don't even know what that means, but that's what they say. And I was like, oh well, I'll fire it up for you. That's what I'm here for.
Usually, if the cone's floating, it's not actually going to crush properly.
Okay, so maybe
Yeah.
they're changing something with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like we'll help with rollers and shit like that,
Right.
but for the most part, I don't do any part of the actual crushing.
Yeah.
And they have a couple gyros. They have a cone, and then they have what the fuck? It's like a big hammer that's just hammering away in there,
Like a hammer mill?
like a jaw crusher.
Yeah, jaw crusher,
Yeah,
yeah.
They have a couple of those.
Yeah. Yeah, ours is fairly big. It's a 48 by 42, so it could take a 4-foot boulder in there.
Right. That's so wild though. It's crazy to watch them actually do it, and they
Oh,
bam,
That's
bam.
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, ours is just a 250 horsepower motor driving it with a huge counter wheel. It's a 6-foot diameter.
Damn.
Roughly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just dum, dum, dum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make
Just
big rocks
crushing
into
it.
small rocks.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll crush that 4-foot boulder down to roughly 6 inches. That's what our close side setting is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then it goes into smaller crushers after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
so
long does it take to get a 4-foot boulder down to that size?
maybe a minute,
Yeah.
depending on how much is in there. Yeah.
Jesus.
If there's a bunch of little tiny rocks, it'll take a little bit for it to get through, but it's pretty efficient. And then, so at that plant there, we have 3 different stations. We have a primary, secondary, and tertiary. So if primary goes down, we can keep on running secondary. And if tertiary goes down, then we can run secondary, and vice versa. So it's pretty nice having surge tunnels and all of it, so you can actually shut down, do maintenance, or whatever you need to do on it.
One of the sketchiest jobs I ever had was at core, and I was pushing the surge pile, and it's so weird in a dozer, and the surge pile is just going out from underneath you. Yeah. There's a big chute at the bottom, and all the rocks fall through it. So the whole time you're trying to feed this surge tube or whatever they call it, and the rock just disappears underneath you. It's a fucking weird feeling.
Yeah, it's pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like the dozer's going to fall in.
No, it can't fall in fall in there, but it's a weird feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with all the maintenance and you have like multiple lines and stuff, are you guys doing like Lean Six Sigma type stuff for, anything like that for?
No, for a maintenance program, we have.
I don't even know what you just said.
It's like it all comes from like a Japanese kind of background. So like Six Sigma and lean manufacturing kind of stuff is just like keeping a clean workspace and like having only the tools you actually need in each workstation kind of thing. And
that's not my guys.
I wish it was like that there, but no.
Having like SOPs for every operation.
Right.
That way you know exactly what to do. And
which we do that, but we definitely don't do the only tools you need thing. Everywhere my guy goes, it's just all my guys, just a bomb exploded, and they cleaned it up at the end.
Yeah, I did a class with that last year with UNR for send cut send, but it's also it's stuff that we had already been doing, but it was nice to see like the background behind it of why it's beneficial for you.
Right.
But we've actually,
Herbert shop's a lot like that. It's just full of stuff, but every time I walk in there, it's like clean.
It's not like that.
It seems like it.
We can get it there pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think. But
there's a lot of stuff that only the tools you need are there.
Yeah.
Right.
There's not a whole toolbox.
Organizing it a little bit, and then
we just don't. Right now, we don't have enough space for staging.
Yeah.
The hard part is every job should have enough room for all the shit that goes to that job. The block, the heads, the new parts, the old parts you're going to give back to the customer. There needs to be a space for that. We just don't have room to organize that way right now.
Time for a new shop, Herbert.
There's too much shit in that box.
Yeah, I need to get those other tenants out and expand a little bit.
Yeah,
no, you need
that front tenant, anyways. You need to
the front tenant for sure.
A whole new shop so you can do heavy diesel.
See, I don't.
Yeah,
the problem is I would have to hire someone that wants to do that.
I'll find you someone because Reno needs one bad.
Because that is like, my goodness. Like,
I think there's a lot of.
I could probably pull you someone from Empire.
No, I think it'd be a great way to expand.
Yeah.
But
Justin
doesn't want to do it.
I still won't be able to do the crankshaft stuff.
Why?
The equipment to service that type of shit. The machine shops that can do the big diesel crankshaft, they have a wet mag that's as big as this bar.
Right.
There's like 50 Gs. Mm-hmm. And then they've got a submerge arc welder that's bigger than this bar. And then they have a crank grinder that's as big as this whole pergola thing.
It's just money.
I know, but it's the problem is you would spend $1 million to tool up to do that. And
absolutely.
And your first job would be polishing a crank for DBM, and you're like, dude, I got to charge you like extra. It's gonna be $400.
Deal.
And then you got a guy to
There's no one else out there doing it.
There's no one doing it. You have to send.
But you have to get guys that want to show up and do that job.
There's a huge market for it.
There's a huge market for it.
We would definitely use you guys.
Yeah.
For big diesel engine repair?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's nobody in town.
3 haul trucks there, 2 988s.
Oh, fuck that shit.
4 to 6 980s.
And the nice part is you don't have to worry about interference and tolerances and shit. Just make it back to stock. That's all we're doing.
You still have to measure.
You do.
Yeah, you still have to measure.
But it's not as crazy as nothing spinning fucking
6,800. No, if one of those spins 6,800,
you got a big fucking problem.
Parts have already come out of it.
Yeah.
They have left the engine.
Yeah.
Unplanned disassembly.
That's right.
I wouldn't argue at all, and I'm gonna change subjects just for a second. The Six Sigma, that's how Trimtex is. Every room has a sign about like this is our motto and this is what you do in this department. And this plant, I got a tour of it. We do a bunch of race engines for him. This guy in Chicago, downtown Chicago. His factory is 4 city blocks.
Oh shit!
Wow.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to take you to the race car shop." And it's like this little 2-car garage. And he had a motorcycle dyno in there. He's the first guy to go 7.0 on a street bike in a quarter mile. But way back in the day. But
That seems super sketchy.
He's famous for it.
Yeah.
But like this dyno shop it's the area was half the size of my garage. And he's like, that was my space. We put the trailer in here and 2 bikes and the tires, and we had a bike dyno in here. And that was all he had. But the warehouse, holy moly. So everything is made in USA. They build all of their own tooling. So kind of like the WeatherTech model. The extruders and machines they have to do the work that they're doing is 1930s to 1940s, big cast iron, like hammer mills, punch press. And so they don't make those anymore. So when a factory that has that equipment closes, they go buy all that equipment. They have a Babbitt shop. They pour Babbitt.
Really?
They have a 3-axis to make their dies. Like, so they have some modern stuff.
Right.
But they're rebuilding the old machines because there isn't a new machine that does that job any better or any faster.
Right.
And so like they've actually had their own sand castings made to repop equipment that they can't build or maintain. So what Trimtex is, and I know this is a side note, when you do drywall on the corner, you need a bead.
Yep.
Right.
Well, he does everything in plastic, injection molded, and it's like 70% recycled.
Oh, okay.
So everybody that does a pocket knife and it's vacuum sealed and they cut out the edge, all that edge of plastic goes to landfill. So he said, well, that's really good PVC.
Yeah.
And it's clear and it's clean. So we can do anything with it. Any color, they can put an additive in it to make it flexible. They can put an additive in it to make it harder. So they've gone to all these places in the US that do this packaging. And he's like, hey, I'll buy you a banding machine. Just throw your garbage in there, push the button, and we'll come pick it up on Friday.
I mean, that's a great deal.
He did that all over the US. So he has warehouses of just all this recycled trimmings banded, and then they grind it, they screen it, they sort it, and that's what they use. So they do the plastic edge beading. Well, I didn't know this about drywall, and this is not torque and horsepower, except this dude races everything. He's 65 years old, and he showed me the tires for his KTM with the screws in every lug.
Wow. Fuck that.
To whatever sideways drift on ice.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Yeah.
He's like, check these tires out. I'm like, God. He's like, I got the same thing for my snowmobile, my drag bike. He still races everything. He just did Baja 250, like San Felipe 2 months ago. He's like, I don't want to off-road race anymore. I think we were in the whoops for like 5 hours. Like, dude, you got to get on top of that. You got to go faster. Anyway, so 29 extruders running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. One guy runs the whole thing.
That's wild.
One extruder.
Right.
So he makes sure when the thing gets low on plastic, they dump it in. Then everything's automated to the cut line. And then while the dude's waiting for the pieces, and they had women there too, they have their own cardboard deal. They build their own box in the form, put the trim in there, staple it shut, put it on a pallet, and they do that 29 lines, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's the only place, all US, every single part's in stock. So they just made this new stuff I got to tell you about because it's fucking cool. You have a gun save at home?
I do.
Yeah.
You have that strip that's kind of weird glued on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a graphite expandable that's fireproof. Mm-hmm. Expands to like 50 times its size when it's heat activated. So what they're doing now with new building codes for skyscrapers is he has a piece of beading that nails on or staples on, and it's fire. It has a fire rating. It has an air seal, like hollow, pliable tube, and it goes between the top of the wall and the ceiling drywall.
Oh, okay.
And if it gets hot, it has a strip of that stuff on the back of it. Wow. So if it gets hot, it's to seal the room from the floor above it.
Wow.
I mean, it makes sense.
It's super genius.
Yeah.
This guy's got like 8 or 9 patents.
Yeah.
And they just came out with this product, and it's just for a fire block.
Right.
But he was like, they have a lab in there, and they're testing like how thick should we put the graphite on? How much will it expand? How much will it go before it falls apart? And they're shitting that thing down an assembly line like it must be 400 sticks an hour.
Damn.
8-foot sticks. It's crazy to see. Wow. It was huge, but it was neat to see. And this dude's he's really into racing. But we'll go back to what we were talking about before. I just had to interject.
Yeah, Lean Six Sigma is
the whole thing
reference of that.
Yeah, the whole whole place in there was exactly that way.
Yeah, I mean it's cool principles, having like
great.
Kanban type stuff set up, which is like if you know you're going to be always ordering something, you have it. So you go to the end of this bin, you know exactly what to order. You turn that in, and you pull from you do like a 2-bin system. So you already have another bin loaded up. That way you're never out of stock. You turn that in, and then either they call it a water spider or management goes in and they replenish that second bin. So you're always ready to go. You're never, there's no downtime, right? And then you can have other things like, having poke-oke principles, which is basically,
what the fuck are you talking about?
It's a Japanese thing. Just means like, no surprises, basically. Is kind of what it means.
I thought we were talking about Pokemon.
No, it's another Lean Six Sigma thing. So it's like you're, kind of making it idiot proof in a sense. Like there's no surprises. There's no way to like screw it up, So you design things to make sure that it works that way. So say you always have to open these valves in a certain way and one way will fuck it up kind of thing. Right. You make sure that there's no way that you can actually do that. So you have like an interlock on there or something like that,
That makes sense. Yeah.
So just different principles like that. I mean, it definitely makes things more efficient.
I was working at a mine. I won't name them because they we zip tied. They had all the gate valves, so the hydraulic pump has like a collector, and there's gate valves coming back to it, and they would always throw codes for the gate valves being closed. So we would just zip tie the fucking gate valve sensor open so it couldn't, and it got back to us a couple times. But yeah, that system like that would probably help. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're like, wow, that sounds like it's out of oil.
Wow.
The gate valve's closed. It's zip tied shut, and so it says it's open. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Mine life.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to get to something like that. We don't use that for our maintenance program. We use Upkeep, which you put on your work orders. You have all your different assets, your conveyors, your crushers, and all the parts that thing needs. And then we just hired another person to do our inventory on all that. So they'll just go through, check what parts we need for that piece of equipment. We use a lot of bearings there, so like a 2 7/16 Type E pillow block bearing. We have 5 or 6 of those in stock at all times, and if we use one, then we'll order another one. That program is going to help out a lot. And then we had these ex-military guys, Check 6, come in, and we use quite a few other programs. They have a P-bed. So it's plan, brief, execute, debrief. So every day, 5:30 in the morning, I do a brief with all the guys on that shift and just let them know what maintenance did to the plant the night before, what we need to look out for, and what the objective is for the day. And then again at the second shift, 8:30, and then again for maintenance at 2 p.m. and just do the same thing with all of them. It helps out quite a bit. And then if we do a big project, we usually do a debrief on it, see what we could have done better and what went right, so we can do that again the next time we do it. And then you also have this thing called PET, so it's all the right people that you need, all the equipment you need, the tools, and the systems that you need. So you have everything that you need for it. So it's going to be try to make it as efficient as possible.
That's organized.
Yeah, it's really organized.
Yeah, we try to be, because there's a lot of time and money that can be wasted if you're not prepared, and
for sure
all that,
and just downtime on not being able to get material out.
Exactly.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely, especially when you're doing 1.1 1.2 million tons a year.
Yeah. It's a lot of tons.
You have to be on top of it, and you're
Yeah.
pushing roughly 1,000 tons out of your secondary
Right.
just to make it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Pretty cool.
So, tell me about your car collection.
I just picked up a 2022 Raptor.
Yeah.
Boys wanted one of those. It's not the Raptor R. I didn't want to spend $160,000.
Right. Got to get those flight lessons.
Yeah.
Understood.
exactly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. I love that thing. It handles incredibly off-road, just being stock. Highly impressed with it. I love that thing.
As well as a Toyota.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's hard to beat that Toyota with the suspension and horsepower.
Yeah, all 6 of them with 60
Yeah.
horsepower.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
beat it.
So is that the what kind of suspension does it have on it? Is it
It has-
active or
Yeah, it has the active, the Fox, I forget what it is, but
live valve?
yeah,
Fox live valve.
Fox live valve. Yeah, it has 14 inches of travel in the front, 16 in the rear. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's a
I
lot
bet
of fun.
that thing's fun.
Yeah, it is. So you could change the tone of the exhaust, the steering. You could change the dampening on the suspension as well. It's a ton of
Sweet.
fun.
That's the same suspension you have on your, I mean, just a bigger version of your
Yeah.
Razor, right? Or your
The live valve.
live valve, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, which is pretty awesome because it's looking into, steering angle, inclination, and all
Right.
that kind of stuff, and it'll adjust the shocks appropriately to that,
Yeah.
depending
Whether
on
you're-
what setting you're in.
Yeah, whether you're turning or not as well, try to tighten up the outside turn.
Yeah.
Try
Yeah.
to keep you level and all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, really.
It's really cool. It's fun. And then I have an 04 4Runner. I think it's pretty sweet. It's mint.
It's mint?
Yeah. And then my 97 Dodge out there. Yeah, that thing's a lot of fun.
With the built 12 valve in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've had the Dodge for a long time.
Long time. Yeah. Just after high school, I bought it. Yeah, it has a built 12 valve, 13 millimeter maxed out fuel pump, some delivery valves, injectors, fuel lines. Rebuilt the whole engine on it.
Fire ringed.
Fire ringed, yeah. Stock crank, but that's good to 1,000, so not too worried about that. And then, compound turbos on it.
Are you still riding dirt bikes?
Yeah. Actually did the VCGP. I was only able to ride for like 2 years, 2 days, like all last year. So I was really out of shape. Didn't do super good last
And the
year.
VCGP's a fucking monster.
It is, man.
It is, dude.
4
Yeah.
hours of just rocks.
Yeah, just getting the shit beat out of you
Yeah,
for
it's
4 hours.
terrible.
Yeah. It is fun. Well, it's actually not that fun. But throughout the year, you're like, you know what? That actually kind of was fun. I think I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you do it, you're like, fuck this, dude. This is awful.
Yeah, there's something twisted that makes you just want to do it again. you
Right.
know? It's an ass kicker, but it's fun. If I could actually get in shape, I think
Right.
I would do really well because my lap times were same as the pros.
Right. Yeah, your lap times are better than mine.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're good.
The hard part about it, too, is like where I always just sign up night of. So
I know.
I need to
don't know
pre-sign
why.
up
Yeah,
because
you
this year
should.
I was 594th.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I wasn't that bad, but I was like 420.
Yeah.
something like that. It was back of the pack for sure.
So yeah, and just all the goons you have to pass,
Oh,
and
man,
you're trying
it's
to
terrible.
you're trying to get them to hold the line because
Right.
we ride Saturday, which is open pro day, and then Sunday I won't ride Sunday.
No,
It's
hell
not
no.
fucking
No,
happening. Yeah,
definitely
amateur
not.
days not happening.
No.
I want to be the amateur on the track that people have to look out for, not the other way around.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's times I want to enter just the pro class because it's
Right.
you get in front of the pack, you don't have to do
Exactly, yeah.
for that long. I don't know, maybe 1 year.
1 year. Yeah,
Are you done with the quads now? Like, I mean, you were in pro quad class, and now
Yeah.
you're back on 2 wheels.
Done with the quads. I don't know, it beats the crap out of you.
It really does.
It's a lot of fun. I think my favorite memory with that was when we went to what was it, Elko?
yeah.
Did that-
Elko, the horse arena.
Yeah,
That was a fucking rad race.
that was like my first pro race out
Yeah.
there, and they were pissed because we didn't have our AMA pro cards.
Yeah.
But they still paid us. So it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was a good race. That was a fun race. It was sketchy in that horse barn though, like
Oh,
getting
man.
in the air.
Yeah.
Fucking oh no.
Yeah, right. Yeah, with 6 different quads on
6
the
different
track.
quads out
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
Was it a horse palace? Is that
Horse
what it's
Palace.
called?
That's what it was. Yeah, I was in the Horse Palace.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, we'll do a pro race with pro purse. And then we all showed up and we're like, where's the fucking money at? That was so scary.
Right?
Yeah.
It was. It was a good time.
Yeah.
But I paid for our fuel and everything going
Yeah,
out there.
it was
a good
good.
time. I don't think I was old enough to drive at that time. I was
Probably not. No, I think
hitching
we
ride with you guys.
yeah, I think we were in the V10 with that like Harbor Freight
Hell
utility
yeah,
trailer
I
on the
love
back.
that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Just running that thing red
Yeah.
line.
It was a good time.
It was a
Didn't
good
get
time.
shit for fuel mileage.
I know. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Wow.
Do you still have any of the quads or not?
Yeah, I have my older one. I sold the one that I bought from you.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, I still have my dad's. We built the engine on it.
Right.
I did a bunch of stuff to it, but we just won't get our money for it. So it's,
Yeah, exactly. You might as well just keep it. Yeah.
Sentimental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you bought a Husky, right?
No, I bought a KTM.
KTM. Okay.
I got the 250 EXC TPI.
Right. I ended up just buying a WR450 from Lane,
Oh yeah.
but that's what I want. I wanted one of the 250 Huskies.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love that thing. It's so nimble.
Yeah.
Like just going out riding in the woods and everything. You just dart through the trees. It's like you're not even riding a motorcycle that weighs almost 300 pounds. You know.
That's the worst part is like for VCGP for me is mine's all set up for moto.
Right.
And it's just a fucking long ride, just hitting rocks.
Oh yeah, rough as hell.
No electric start. It was the year before electric start, so then you flame out and you're sitting there fucking kicking it. Yeah. I'm like, every time you kick it, you're like, I'm a fat piece of shit. Like, please start.
I know. Yeah, I actually had an issue at the VCGP. My the starter switch was grounding out, so I was trying to start the whole race.
Shit.
I didn't have my starter.
Yeah.
And then I put a recluse clutch on it, so you can't just bump start it.
No, you can't. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to run over, push in that the set screw on it, so you can actually use the clutch on it. And then, by the time you're done with that lap, your arm is dead from trying to pull in the clutch.
Yeah.
So not having to worry about the clutch with the recluse.
That's what that WR I got. I bought it from Lane, and it's complete built desert bike, and it's badass. So I'm hoping VC will be a lot better this year. But I think I'm going to sell my 450, my motorbike, and get a new YZ 250 and just motorbike that one.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I want to get, my kids are both on 2-strokes, so I want to get back on a 2-stroke. Right. And they're always asking me, like, Dad, why do you not ride a 2-stroke? I was like, because I'm fucking lame, I guess. I don't know, dude. I suck.
They're the best.
They are. They're so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it smells the best.
Yeah.
If I ever get back into it, that's what I want. Is I want a KTM 300.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, I want to get an adventure bike and get that 650.
Adventure bikes are cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Austin's is a blast.
That or, a 500. I'm down with a 500 two-stroke.
Yeah. You got a big enough dick to ride 500. The rest of us have to ride like 250s.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, those 300s are awesome, though, if you get one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weight moving around with me, so a little more CCs wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're still nice and nimble. Just
they
like
are.
250. It's the same frame and everything. They just change the bore on it.
Yep.
They're fun bikes. So Joey, neighbor Joey, he's got one, and it's a blast. That's what he was up there at BC with us, and he rode it. And then Callie Dan just got one of those Husky. It's a 450, but it's a desert bike version with the light and shit on it, and that's a fun bike too. That's a really fun bike.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I
really like the Huskies.
Yeah, the frame definitely feels more rigid on them compared to like a Jap bike, but I enjoyed riding it. It was fun.
Yeah, it just feels like you can move anywhere, go through anything.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was my biggest complaint about my 450, my moto-bike, is they're real like rear end heavy, so they track to the rear. So any corner you do, it slides out on you, and you have to just keep that. It'll hold it, but you have to keep that slide.
Right.
Compared to like the older 250s, it's just turn.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we kind of talked about what you do for fun. If you could start a business tomorrow, what business would it be or what occupation?
Well, if I got into flying again, I'd like to do wildland firefighting with the helicopter.
Hell yeah.
I think it'd be awesome. Just go out there with the Huey or Black Hawk. And
a Huey would be so sick, dude.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Just hear that blade slap.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, awesome. I'm with you on that.
I love it.
Herbert, how about you? You want to ride the Huey?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
If I'm flying, you have nothing to worry about.
That's right.
I want one of those, riding one of those sky cranes. Those things are
the sky cranes are cool, yeah.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. The sky cranes, the tail rotors, the same size as the main rotor on the R22.
That's so wild.
Yeah, right? Insane. 22 foot.
That's wild.
Yeah, huge.
Well, we just did that helicopter tour down in Zion, and it was funny because the lady up front was checking us in, and she's like, "Yeah, my boyfriend's a pilot. Like, he's a great pilot. He watches videos of helicopters crashing so that he can avoid it." It's just freaking Haley out, right?
Yeah, right.
And because she doesn't like helicopters at all, and then the dude fucking puts the chopper down, does it perfect, gets out. He's like 22.
Yeah.
And Haley's like, what the fuck? And so it was one of the, I can't remember the model. It's a little Airbus helicopter, but it's turbofan.
EC-135 probably.
Yeah, I think so. And so we sit in there, and Haley's like, how long you been flying? And the guy's like, oh, a while. And she's like, how long's a while? He's like, oh, it's my 3rd year. And so she's super fucking nervous. And he actually killed it. He did a great job. He's a great tour guide, great pilot. It was nice and smooth and everything. But she was just super nervous the whole time. But it was fun. That's the first like small turbine helicopter I rode in, and it was fun.
Yeah, they're really cool. If you do your flight lessons, just remember takeoff power. Hover power is takeoff power.
Right.
So in the R22, you don't really have enough power to hovering out of ground effect. So it takes a lot of power. It takes more power to hover than it does to fly.
Right.
In the air in a helicopter. So if you're hovering along and you just dip your cyclic forward a little bit, you can touch your skids on the runway and then just take off right on there. You don't even have to mess with the collective. It's badass.
It's badass.
Yeah. They actually want you to do that when you go in for your commercial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just drag the skids just a tiny bit and take off from there.
Huh. I guess it makes sense because you're starting to fly at that point.
Right.
Huh.
Yep.
That's wild.
Yeah, you're going from hover to effective translational lift into your takeoff.
That's cool. Yeah, we're doing it, dude. Let's sell this motherfucker, dude. Let's get helicopters.
Yeah. But if you're running the R44, you can hover out of ground effect for a little bit, but then you start running out of power and then you have to take off again.
Gotcha.
So don't do it too long.
Don't do it too long.
So the power that the sky cranes have to be able to have a load and hover is pretty substantial.
Yeah.
Massive
amount. Yeah.
Massive.
And they have a lot of inertia in their rotor system, unlike the R22. So like when you go into auto rotation, you have to drop that collective. Otherwise, you're going to lose all the inertia that's in your rotor system before the air gets to go through your rotor blades to spin them, keep your RPM up.
So they're a lot more stable. And if you had to do an auto in one of those,
you have some time in it.
Yeah.
Like the R22, you have, I think, 5 seconds for you to get your collective down. Otherwise, you can just stall the aircraft and then you're going to plummet to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get the rotor blades to go level and then actually get the airflow to go through it to auto rotate.
Right.
Do they still call it feather in a rotary?
No, they don't. They have different rotor systems. They have a rigid, lead and lag, and then there's one other one, but I can't remember it. But the R22 is just a rigid system.
Okay.
And 44 is still using piston engine, right?
It is, yeah. It's just a bigger piston engine instead of a 4-cylinder, it's a 6-cylinder. Right? Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Makes a little bit more power. The rotor system's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
It's just a big Volkswagen, Eric.
It really is, air cooled
with like 3 V belts running the prop shaft. Yeah,
that's like 6.
It's like 6, yeah.
6 V belts.
Yeah.
Because 3 weren't enough.
No,
I'm out.
I mean, in every stage of takeoff, there's you're supposed to have a certain amount of airspeed. So if you do lose an engine, you're going to be able to auto rotate and land it.
Yep. See, Eric? Huh.
There's a nice little graph that you have to memorize when you get to flying.
It's fascinating. If I had all the time in the world and money, I would totally take it up.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by turbines.
I love turbines.
Gearboxes and helicopters are awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love to just get flown to work in a Blackhawk.
Oh,
right.
I'd love
go
to
to Sand
Blackhawk
Mountain.
would be great, yeah.
Go to Sand Mountain in a Blackhawk. Like my trailer's there, side by side's gassed up. Actually, I'd probably have some wicked sand car.
Yeah.
And then like I just get dropped off in the Blackhawk, and then go party.
I'll be your pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big bucks.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Not in my wheelhouse. It'd be cheaper to go off road racing, Alex.
Which I also want to do.
I know,
The problem is I just need more
in.
money. Yeah, is the thing. Yeah.
I can help out a bit.
Yeah. Perfect. We're doing class 11, bro.
I love it.
Oh, no.
We start tomorrow.
We start tomorrow. Get ourselves a nice old bug, dude.
Yeah,
and
I'll
Why
do
not?
pit crew for class 11. That's about it.
Yeah. It seems awful going through all those whoop sections of sand in class 11.
Yeah.
5.5
It'd be
inches
so
of
fun.
suspension.
Can't be any worse than VCGP.
No, it's probably not worse than
Probably
VC.
better.
Yeah, and definitely not worse than any of our 500 car derbies,
Yeah. That was a great time.
which we definitely
You
need.
kind of have to explain that a little bit because people don't understand what that is.
So a couple times we made a day, and everybody got $500 to spend on a car. So that's what you can spend on it, whether you buy it for $200 and put $300 into it. It's $500. And then, honestly, it turned into a weekend because none of them fucking died.
Yeah.
Besides my Metro, we had to weld up the whole pan on that.
That was awesome.
Yeah. But and for the record, since I'm sure Reed's about to be here, I beat Reed down to Chilcoot in a non-engine engine Metro than he did in a Chrysler New Yorker.
Yep,
you can, if you have 3 big enough guys, you can scrub a Metro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was in the back of the Metro.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And
You were.
It was terrifying because all I saw looking behind me was Reed hauling ass. I'm like, oh man, he's gonna hit us so hard, and we have no engine. We can't go any faster.
Yeah. So any uphill, Reed would come smash the back of the Metro and push us over the top. But on the downhill, with all big guys in there, you can turn the wheel and scrub every little whoop in a Metro. It fucking got it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So much fun.
So we need to do that again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think one of the best parts is trying to load that thing, all the cars up on one
Oh
trailer.
yeah. We
That's awesome.
Was it the New York? No, my Metro was on there. And then what did Joe have?
What was that?
He had a little K car too. What the fuck was it? It was. But we lifted. All of us lifted the ass.
Mazda, I think.
Oh, did he? Yeah, we lifted.
That's
All of
right.
us lifted the ass end of his car up onto the hood of my Metro, and then just one strap held it all down, and we spray painted Joe's hood that just said, "Don't worry, it's fine."
It was so awesome. And
It
when
was.
we got your Metro, we had to weld up the pan, so we just flipped that thing on its side.
Yeah,
welded
right
it
in
up,
Drew's dad's
and-
driveway, we just flipped it on its side and
It
welded
was
the whole pan
awesome.
up.
That's great.
And I think Mr. Miles had like some 5/16 plate or something, and we just welded it straight to the oil pan. That's what our blocker was, and a skid plate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
it finally
works.
did. It finally did lose a ring though, because it died out there.
You were using the windshield wipers to wipe oil off the windshield.
Yeah, well, because we started filling it with 80/90 way for engine oil, because it was burning so much.
And it had a hood stack.
It did have a
was
hood
just
stack.
spraying oil
On the windshield.
If you
Nice.
if you ever get a Geo Metro, the exhaust manifold bolt setup is the exact same upside as it is downside, so you can just flip it up and hood stacker.
Yeah, it's badass.
Yeah,
If I ever get a Geo Metro.
yeah. Probably the best car I've ever done it with. I've done it with a couple Cadillacs. They're fun. Austin had that. Was it an Acura? Or no, he had a Lexus.
Yeah.
And we blew the radiator out of that. So we had a dude take it with his buggy and just flip it upside down. And we JB welded the bottom of the radiator, let it sit for like an hour, and then the dude rolled it back over for us, and we fucking took back off again.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we need to do that again. That was a good time.
I still have that Mustang. My dad
You do
really
have the
wants it out of
Mustang?
there. Yeah, I have it.
Does it run?
I don't know, because we took it up to Snow Lake, was doing a little drifting around on it, and then the throttle got stuck full wide open.
That'll happen, yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to make my way back home, and it's full of wide open, so just trying to ease it home. You have to just kill the ignition and then turn it back on, full throttle.
Perfect.
And then there's the rail tracks that you have to jump over. And there's
And you
a
have to
big-
jump over them.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's wide open.
It's
so
wide open, yeah.
What else can you do?
Yeah.
And right next to that railroad tracks, there's a big old manhole.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I clipped that, ripped the whole top off it. And,
Oh, off the manhole?
Yeah. I
Oh,
didn't know
fuck.
it. Yeah, I was going so fast, it just
Yeah.
right over it, and then jumped the railroad tracks. And then the next day or that weekend, I see the U-line or the Union Pacific out there trying to fix the manhole. What the fuck happened to this
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, that's
It
been
was
broke
great.
for a while. You guys
Yeah.
should fix that.
What the hell's going on here? That was a good time.
That's awesome. Before we wrap this up, if somebody wanted to get into your industry, whether it be like you want to do flying or aggregate, what would you tell them?
Just put in the work. If you work hard, then they're going to recognize it, and you'll be able to keep on moving up in the company and just learn as much as you can, because there's
Right.
a wealth of knowledge out there.
Absolutely. Anything from you, Eric? Been a little quiet this
To get
this
into my
episode.
industry,
Yeah,
I don't want to do heavy equipment.
just do it already.
You should.
I'll have
Someone needs to do it.
you.
I wouldn't.
You own
I'm
a
not-
machine shop.
I'm not opposed to owning that business. I need a bigger spray wash. I need a bigger surfacer. I need a bigger everything to do that. That's a totally different business.
Stop
sounds like
building
a
the
bunch of
goddamn mansion
excuses.
and fucking buy some tooling.
You're right. I need somewhere for my parents to live
That is true.
at
Yeah.
some point, and it's not going to work in our house. Someone
No.
will get killed by a dog, so
That yeah.
they need
That's
their own.
no
They
joke.
need their own space.
Yeah.
There's a market. I wouldn't argue with the market. But there's a lot of big rebuilders that are having problems right now.
Oh, really?
There's so many normal rebuilt long blocks that you could buy at AutoZone. Who's the other? Veg, VEGE. They rebuild a ton of stuff. Jasper.
Well, that Jasper shit's all junk anyways.
They're big commercial rebuilders, and they don't have anything. You can't get anything from them right now.
Right.
Why is that? Why can't you get a rebuilt Ford V10 from them? Why can't you get a rebuilt? Why can't you get a Toyota I think it's a GRFE 4-liter V6 that's in literally everything from Toyota and Lexus? You can't get a Reman long block?
Huh, I didn't know
and
that.
You can't get it from Toyota.
So weird thing with like Cat for us that I don't understand. If you buy an OR, which is a reman, they want your old one back so they can reman it. But if you buy a new one, they don't want your old one back. Why is that? Because now they can't fulfill a bunch of OR orders, and they have to. They're fulfilling the order with.
What do they think you're gonna do with the core? You don't need it.
I don't need it.
Put a bounty on it.
Yeah. Or even if say the price is the same. But if you bring us back the core, we'll give you this much off the price.
Yeah, like, hey, we'll give you $500
because it's all just going in the scrap bin. But then none of those cores can be built because they don't have any more coming back. So if you order like a bunch of parts right now, water pumps, all kinds of shit, if especially like hydraulic pumps, if you order a brand new one, you order an OR, they don't have one. So most of the time, what they'll do is they'll fulfill it with a new one, and you're going to pay OR price because you ordered an OR. But then you'll give it back for that because it's an OR. But if you just go out and buy a brand new one, they don't want your core.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know why. I don't know if that's the Sig Sigma. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you got to ask the Japanese about it. Apparently, them and
like,
Pokemon.
When you sell a new part, you don't want to put a bounty on the old one.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
Because you can't get. No one's going to go get it out of the scrapyard.
No. But I mean, with all the OR parts we order, we're so used to as soon as and Cat's really fucking bad about it. It has to be back in the exact same bag, in the exact same packaging, in the same box. Otherwise, you're not getting.
They won't even take it.
They won't even take it.
We should continue this one with Reed.
Yeah,
he might have.
Yeah,
some
he
insight.
actually probably would know some insight on it.
He could have some insight. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of the Torque and Horsepower Podcast. As usual, we would love for you to send questions to our website. And then we could talk about readers' questions.
Yep.
Please.
Well, it's good to have you here, Davis. Thanks for showing up.
Thank you, Davis.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, bud.
Yep.